Right on. You are now watching Jukeboard Sports Show. I'm your host, King Ralph, here with the homie and my co-host. Pause for dramatic effect. The homie Kai. What's happening, bro? How you doing, bro?
Yo, 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 what's good, Ralph? I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay, man. I'm blessed to be here today. Another day. Made it through a long week actually. So, but I'm
Yeah,
I'm here. Yeah,
long week.
yeah, long week, man. So other than that, I'm up. I'm up.
Hey, all the way up.
Yeah.
But before we jump in, man, make sure you go and you follow all our socials. We do this every episode. Make sure you go on YouTube as well as Facebook. The He Say She Say, all one word. The He Say She Say channel. Facebook, YouTube. Go on Instagram at j.u.k. Sports Show. Follow me on all my socials at what's at the bottom of the screen at KYNGRALPH. Add an underscore when you're on Twitter
You can
and
follow. Yeah, go ahead.
go crazy, bro.
Oh, you can follow me on IG at the.house of hoops, man. We're under like 50 days before the NBA season. I know y'all don't care about that right now,
Yeah,
but but it's coming, man.
it's coming.
Even
It's coming.
even Ralph got his Bulls jersey on, so
Mm-hmm.
he's ready for a revenge season.
Oh God, all my boys gotta stay healthy though. We're
Yeah,
not gonna have Lonzo to start the season, but it's all good.
yeah, he about to put him in a trade package for John Morant. So
I
no, I ain't say that, Lonzo. I still love you, bro.
don't really see that happening anyway. Gotta stay realistic. But
Yeah.
before we start the show, man, we got to send a shout out to the sponsors. If you want to do any podcasts like what you're watching, music videos, photo shoots, call the number on the bottom of the screen, 707 Fit Boxer. And football, we got some football
Americano.
over the week one of the NFL season. But before we get to that, you mentioned the NBA season.
Uh,
The owner of the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury, and we're going to talk about WNBA finals today, was suspended for 1 year
mhm.
and $10 million. He was quoted and cited for he used the N word in the workspace 5, 6 times, multiple times made inappropriate sexual jokes toward women in the workplace. I think the only reason that he's not getting the what was the owner of the Clippers?
Donald Sterling.
He's not getting the Sterling treatment is because we don't have an audio tape or physical video of
Right.
him doing these heinous acts.
Mhm.
So, leads me to ask, did they get it right or did they get it wrong?
With all due respect, and I know we want to keep these little quick hitters little relatively short, but I'm gonna piggyback off what Marcus Spears said, and I say absolutely not, absolutely not. I just speak my truth, man. I speak my truth, man. I really have no tolerance for this, like racism. I have no tolerance for employee misconduct, and the reason why I say they did not get it right, and like what he was saying, he was like, I don't. He told Ramona Shelburne, I don't care about all this financial stuff and sponsors. He's like, nah, man, I read the report. What they said happened. If you were at a job or me at a job, and I know you are a manager, Ralph, as well, or if you're an employee, uh, um, any type of harassment, sexual harassment, they talked about females. So you pretty much harassed females. You use racial derogatory terms and epithets towards black people. Boom. And then what was the third one? Oh, they said there was like physical interaction or something like that toward like male employees. I don't care if it was a female employee or a male employee. So
Mm-hmm.
therefore, you just had three what we call like three red flags,
Mm-hmm.
three quick hitters. You should have been
Three
fired
strikes you
off.
out.
Yeah, you feel what I'm. There we go. Three strikes are out. So anyone else, it was just a penny any employee. We're just getting fired from our job. All those things are technically fireable offenses. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So with all due respect, when I read the report, I was like, nah, man, get him the hell out of here because
Mm-hmm.
suspending him from 1 year, he's gonna chill on his yacht or wherever. He don't care. $10 million to a billionaire is nothing. So I
Right.
I thought like what old girl had said, how it was a slap on the wrist. It was a slap on the wrist, if even that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
And a
So
slap in our faces.
yeah, and I'll just swing it back to you, bro. But I just when I looked at it and I had to see it kind of quickly within the last hour because it just recently came out. I was like,
Right.
nah, I just don't rock with it, man. It was weak. It was weak, man. So
Right.
Adam Silver, step up your game on that one.
Yeah, I think this is one of those ones where typically NBA gets it right.
Yeah, yeah,
and they got it wrong. And so it's like nobody's perfect, but at the end of the day, I do
yeah.
think that it was if it wasn't proven that he did all of
Mhm.
these things, like it was just short of it. And it was like without
Yeah.
having a physical copy of audio tape or videotape to show him actually doing it,
Right, right.
then I don't understand why Sterling had to lose his and
Mm.
this guy is able to keep his team.
You
Like
know
I
what?
mentioned before
Okay.
we started rolling tape,
Yeah.
it's like Sterling had the audio
Yeah.
tape put up and it's
With
he
Magic
loses his
Johnson.
team.
Yeah.
This guy has 5 or 6 instances of using the N word,
Mm.
multiple infractions, and people bringing up cases where he's been sexually inappropriate in the workplace. I feel like this is just as bad. And he gets a 1 year suspension and he's fined 10 mil, which he'll probably make double that just from this season alone.
Yeah.
Because the Phoenix
Oh,
Suns are going to be in contention. They're going to have sold out games. They're going to make the playoffs, and then he's going to sell more tickets once
right.
the playoff season starts. Then they'll probably make a long run. So it's like the amount of money he's going to make. I just don't. I'm not rocking with it.
And
And
you
so,
apologize, so you probably just sorry that you got caught. But then you're like, I don't agree with some of the things in the statement, bro. So you probably did it anyway, bro. Anyway,
right, right.
moving on.
So on to the next one. College football will be expanding
Yes, yes, yes.
playoff format to 12 teams.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in on this one. I think they got it wrong by the amount of teams.
I've heard some people say that. Go
I
ahead.
I don't have the problem. I actually never had a problem because what was it, 4 right now?
Yes. Yeah.
I
Four.
never had a problem with them going to like 6. I think 10 is too much because then it's not that like the gap from 1 through 10 in
Hmm.
college football. Once you get past 6, it's a pretty big gap.
And this one's 12 teams.
So to go from 6 all the way to 12,
Yeah.
the people playing 12 from 12 all the way down playing one seeded teams,
Right.
it's a blowout. It's
Hmm.
not going to be close. There's blowouts when it's 4 going against 1.
Yeah.
So to open up to where you have that many teams, I just disagree to that ilk, but I'm cool with them expanding it because there are some teams that from 3 to 6 or 3 to 8, you could say depending on, let's just say we got like a team like Cincinnati.
Hmm.
They run through their division and their conference. They go undefeated, but they run up against a 2-loss UCLA team, and most people are going to say the UCLA team is better just because it's UCLA, and so it doesn't give that team from that small conference that opportunity. So I do agree with opening it up to where it's 10, but I think anything more than that is just doing too much. Now I got to
Yeah.
look at the particulars of the particulars, but at least with that, because then team, I feel like 1 and 2s when you open it up, 1s and 2s should get bye weeks.
Okay. So I'll actually give the particulars. That's why I'm glad I had the notes. I'll just read them off and you can kind of give me your thoughts on it. They said it's set to expand in 2026, may expand as early as 2024 or 2025. You're gonna have 12 teams, means every team essentially in the playoff has a shot at the championship. Ralph said they don't, which I mean I get where you're coming from.
Right.
The six highest ranked conference champions plus six at large teams. The top four teams, right, will get a first round bye. So the top four seeds. So probably like an Alabama, whoever,
Yeah.
whatever. Then they'll get a chance to pick where they'll play their bowl game, which that already screws up the people who they playing against. And then
Mm-hmm.
the highest seed will have the priority first. So let's say there's the top four seeds. If Bama's number one, right, or Georgia's number one, they pick first. So if they pick, I want to play here. This two seed can't pick to play at that same spot. They got to pick somewhere else. Then the
Right.
third seed, then the fourth seed. So it still favors the one seed already. You get a bye and you get to pick. Then the remaining 5 through 12 seeds, or the remaining 5 through 12 seeds, which are the remaining eight highest ranked teams, the higher seed will host a game. So you would have like the five will play the 12, the six will play the 11, and vice versa. And then I think the last detail of it was that I have here for you is, yeah, the championship game will be played at a neutral site. I'll give my quick little insight on it. I like expansion. You know what I'm saying? Just like in the NBA, I need the Clippers to expand to Seattle and get the hell up out of Staples Center. But anyway, that's a cursed franchise. But I don't mind 12 teams strictly for the fact that you know me, Ralph. You know me. I don't like toxicity in my life, but I do like a little bit of chaos.
Right,
And
right,
in sports, I need the chaos. I saw Kalen Newton in Harvard, my dad's alma mater, beat UNLV.
right.
I know regular season, but I need something. You know, anything's possible. I really believe in what KG said, bro. So I'm cool with it because it just means more football to me. But I'm sure the other teams, like the fans of it, I mean, they'll be too drunk to even know what's going on when they're getting
Right.
smacked by 50. So we can move on. But I mean, I'm
Right.
cool with having 12 teams, man. Like,
I like all of that, man. Like like I said, I still stick with what I said as far as the amount
yeah,
of
the
teams.
gap, yeah,
But
the
in
gap in
that
talent.
format, it makes sense. It makes it interesting.
Okay,
It incentivizes getting in that top four,
right, right,
as well as just getting in that 12 in general. Because once you get, like, it's one game, anybody has an opportunity to
yeah,
win the game, but it's just in college football, it's not that much. It's like WNBA.
yeah.
We're not going to see too many, like, the number one seed losing to the eighth seed. It's just not
All
finna
right,
happen.
all
And
right.
so to go on to my last one, right or wrong,
Mm-hmm.
Micah Parsons gets 2 sacks.
Mm,
They use Little Fournette to chip.
mm-hmm.
He takes his cleats off pretty much with his hit. The hit looks legal, but Von Miller has jumped into the conversation saying that the hit was wrong. Michael Parsons had some things to say. Leonard Fournette fired back. Is there a right or a wrong in this? And whose side are you taking?
Man, I people are gonna take offense, but I'm on the fence with this one because I remember what Ray Lewis had said. He said, "I miss physical football, man," and so
Right.
I miss physical football. So I'm cool with it in a way. Like if it was me, I'd probably hate it if I was on the defensive side. But I'm glad you mentioned. You said Michael Parsons, Von Miller, they had a problem with it. Why did they have a problem with it? Because they like to do what? Rush the passer. So
Edge
you have
rushers.
this little running back who packed a big punch. Leonard Fournette was knocking dudes out since LSU. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Now he's healthy. He's chip blocking you. No one likes to get chip blocked. So I think that I get where Leonard Fournette's coming from to defend himself, but then Michael Parsons, Von Miller, I just think it's more of an offensive defensive thing because we saw this when they were implementing rules to protect just like the quarterback and all the defenders saying, "Oh, this and pass interference, and you can't go below the knee and you can't do this." So I'm kind of curious what you think, but my personal opinion as a fan of the game, not a player though, as a fan of the game, I just see it kind of like it's offense versus defense
Right.
because the quarterback does not care if my running back Leonard Fournette, Tom Brady don't care if Leonard Fournette's chip blocking the hell out of Michael Parsons. He's like,
No,
"Thank you,
not
bro.
at
Do
all.
it again." All right. So
Hit,
what do
hit
you
him
think?
harder.
Like, yeah, yeah. But
Hit
no,
him
I,
harder
I
next
get it.
time.
I get it. It's all love between them, I guess. You know, it's back and forth. You know, they probably feel a type of way, but nothing that's gonna come to blows. Probably, I don't think. Like,
Nah, it don't know. It I don't think it'll ever get to that. It's
yeah,
just a
yeah,
matter
yeah,
of it's the trash talk.
yeah,
It's annoying,
yeah.
but right or wrong, Micah, I'm cool with it, but don't I'm cool with the trash talk.
Mm.
But at least but to some degree, just be quiet. Cause
Y'all lost. No,
right, where I have the issue with Von Miller being in it, because then it's
yeah, he just
like,
came out of
well,
nowhere.
why are you even in this
Right.
conversation? Like, not to the point where you're attacking the NFL saying like, oh, this is contradictory to protecting the players,
Mm-hmm.
because it's football at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and we like physical football. So I don't want to hear nobody complaining. Leonard Fournette, keep chipping.
Yeah.
I don't know why they call that a chip block, because that was not a chip block.
Yeah, it really wasn't, man. But it looks
Michael
cool
Parsons
though.
attacking the quarterback,
Yeah.
and it just is what it is. But I pulled it up. We got it right here. WNBA Finals, right here. Game 2, Las Vegas Aces. Aces squeak out a 3-point victory in Game 1.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We got Game 2 tonight. I got tickets to the game tonight, so when we're done wrapping up, you will see footage of me at the game.
All right, he gonna be on that live, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, but Connecticut Sun
Yes,
eke
yes.
out a victory over the in Game 5 in Chicago to get to the finals over the Chicago Sky. We talked about it last week. I thought it would be the Sky in the finals. So now that they're here, I'm not going to disparage nothing that they're doing, but
Mhm.
we got to give our predictions. Tape don't lie.
Yeah,
And we just got to break down what we think and how we feel. Obviously, I said at the beginning of the season, the Aces was going to win it all when we got Becky Hammond as a coach. She's
yeah,
coached up the troops. Chelsea Gray is taking over games in the final in crunch time. Asia Wilson is still balling out at a high clip, 24 and 11 in the last game. Chelsea Gray with 21 and 3 assists. Kelsey Plum had a little bit. She kind of struggled in the game, but
right.
the Aces was able to win. I just think that they have too much talent.
They
Like
do.
Jackie Young with 11 and 3 rebounds. Asia Wilson with the double double. We got Kia Stokes with 8 rebounds and some block shots. So I just feel like we're just too deep
Yeah.
for the Connecticut Sun. Although they're young, they're very physical. They have some hoopers. I just don't think they have enough to beat the Aces.
So are you saying a sweep?
I'm not gonna go sweep. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
gentleman sweep.
Same. Same. I think based off of what I saw was the Connecticut Sun, they came in and they pretty much took the Aces out of their half court, what they like to do in the half court. I mean, the Aces, they were able to score, but they were able to they made it tough for them. I
Right.
also think, and I don't want to make this say I'm knocking Chelsea Gray. I believe Chelsea Gray is probably the greatest tough shot maker in WNBA history. I mean, she makes Kobe-esque type shots. Like that's
Yeah.
what she does. And so what they were able to do was in that game one, they got her into a lot of isolation, a lot of double teams, a lot of tough shots, hands in the face, and they're like, we can live with that. And so it took the Aces out of their offense and out of what they wanted to do. Also, Kelsey Plum, she didn't really get going early and often, right? And so Asia Wilson and Becky Hammond post game said Becky was like, it's like we had to get slapped in the face or punched in the face for us to wake up.
Right.
The Sun actually held them to 0 assists, I believe, in the second quarter, which is the first time that's ever happened all season, and that's impressive. No assist, so that tells
Right.
me that there was good defense in the passing lanes and the half court, and that they were probably getting too much isolation with Gray and others, right? So
Right.
that ball's not really moving, it's not clicking. But then the fourth quarter happened and Asia took over defensively. Her defense translated into offense, which we talked about just in the last series. She had three of her 4 blocks in the fourth quarter. I saw one highlight; she blocked it. Then she runs uh, the course of the court, gets the ball, scores. I mean, just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So I think that I actually saw uh, a pregame, I guess you could say, or the precursor to game two. LaChina Robinson on ESPN said that they can win game two if they come out with the same defensive intensity
Yeah.
that they came out in fourth quarter and start the game two with that. So when you go to the game, I expect you to see them to come out defensively sound and really get into it, and then Kelsey Plum to get going. So I think my prediction is a gentleman's sweep, just like you. I'm going to say Asia Wilson wins the wins the WNBA finals MVP for this because I think Chelsea Gray. I think yeah they're gonna double team her, sometimes even triple team her, and I think Asia just has a better, more profound impact being the defensive player of the year and
Hmm.
being able to do both things. So I think Asia Wilson continues her stretch of dominance. She had 24 points, 11 boards, 4 blocks. Kelsey Plum will get going in that flow, and I'm gonna go with the gentleman sweep like you said, Ralph. So it should be fun. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think that in the end,
yeah.
Asia Wilson will surmount that she's the best player in the
In the game.
WNBA.
Yeah.
The MVP, defensive player, Finals MVP. Can't really say much. And I've already told my GM at work if there's a parade,
Yeah.
I will be there.
Yo,
Just
where would
if
would it be
there's
on the
any
strip?
type of celebration or
Yeah.
party or
Yeah.
just public acknowledgement for them winning that title, I'm gonna be in the building with my Aces jersey, shirt,
Hey.
and all of that, going
Did,
going crazy.
correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't. I've watched a couple of hockey games in my lifetime. I just don't like to be there because it's so cold. It's cold. Was there a parade when the Knights won?
Well, the Knights didn't win the
Oh
Stanley
yeah,
Cup.
they just made it. They made it.
Yeah, but
Right.
if
That
they
was what
do
3 years
win
ago.
the
Yeah,
Stanley Cup, there is
a
a parade
parade. Okay.
because the Blackhawks got parades in Chicago. I even have like one of the
Mhm.
shirts from the parade. Oh, I
Okay.
had it. That was some time ago, and I was
Okay.
young, so I outgrew that shirt at
Hey,
this
pass
point.
it. Hand it down to. Well, you can't hand it down to your little brother. He's big, so
Right, right.
like, hey man. So yeah, I feel
Yeah,
you though. I feel you though. That'd be cool. A parade on the
right.
strip or somewhere.
Exactly, exactly. But Donovan Mitchell the Donovan Mitchell trade is
Mm,
old news, but
yeah,
with the season approaching,
I don't know all the details of it either, man.
as well as the details have unfolded, we are
Okay.
actually able to look at the landscape of what the Eastern Conference looks like, the Western Conference looks like. Does Donovan Mitchell make the Cavs a legitimate title contender?
Okay. So I'm gonna say this, and I'm not saying this because obviously you're a Bulls fan, and you're my homie and everything like that. I'm not saying this to like kind of boost up and be like, oh man, screw the Cavs or anything like that. I think the Cavs are a really good team. I don't think they're quite ready to make the NBA finals though. I'm not gonna overreact though. And I hit you up, I do believe they're a top. They're like a top. What did I say? A top five or something. They were like one that in your division. They're definitely a force. Shoot,
Right,
they could be the second best team in that division. I think that what it does is it makes them contenders, but I'm not gonna brush away the coaching because coaching matters, right?
right.
Baby Bickerstaff, I think, is that his name?
Yeah, JB
But
Bickerstaff.
I still think Eric Spoelstra being seasoned. I like them. I like the mentality of the Miami Heat. They did nothing in the offseason, but they'll still be there. I
Right,
like the Bucks. I like Giannis to come back with a vengeance next season and get Chris Middleton back. I just think they're a lot older team than a lot of people really know about.
right,
And then I think the Celtics, they getting Malcolm Brogdon and or Brogdon, however you want to say his name, fits into their defensive philosophy. They have a lot of young guys, age 24, 25. Their core is just young, but
right.
they're seasoned in the playoffs. The Cavaliers are not yet seasoned in the playoffs, and that
No,
matters.
that's the
However, they're getting a guy who is in a Donovan Mitchell, and I think that that small ball lineup can cause some problems for teams. They're going to be fast. They're going to get a lot of shots up. They're going to cook. Jared Allen is going to protect their weak perimeter defense because I think their perimeter defense is going to get had. Mitchell and Garland are going to get roasted, but that's why you have Jared Allen. Jared Allen is amazing,
right,
so you have to stay healthy. I think they're a team that, as long as they keep LeBron away from them, um, I think they're gonna be fun. I think they're really gonna be fun. I think for me, Ralph, and maybe for you too, I need to see them. I
right.
need to see how they continue to look. Um, I did find this stat though interesting. I almost forgot. They were the fourth seed prior to Jared Allen's injury last season. Because remember he got traded and they were the fourth seed. I guess he hurt his What did he hurt? Didn't he hurt his hand or
Yeah,
something like that? They were actually the fourth seed in the East, and so I want to see, will that continue now that you get Mitchell and see how he kind of implements into that. So I think they're just a team that you have to watch out for. I won't put them right on that championship level. I think I'm going to take them ahead of the Hawks, though. They might be in that Hawk
yeah.
tier, and I think I'll take them ahead of the Hawks. All right, so that's all I got on them. So
I mean, I agree, man. Like, I do think that his offensive prowess
yeah,
gives them such an edge, and we've talked about playoff basketball when it comes
mm.
to tournament play, playoff or the playoffs.
You need wings.
You need someone that when the play breaks down, you
Yeah,
could just make something happen. So
hmm
having a Darius Garland, having a Donovan Mitchell, having an Evan Mobley who can make something happen where there's nothing going on
yeah,
or things break down. I think the more pieces you have that can do that while also playing in a team game makes it a big deal. I do think that this is where the old man in me kind of comes in, where me and my brother had these conversations because I really
okay.
genuinely believe that when it comes to some of these rankings and the way that people think, it's they ignore defense.
Oh, hell yeah,
Like
yeah.
you I don't care if he could score 50 if he giving up 40.
Facts.
So it doesn't matter how many points. Is he's shown that he's either is a liability or just doesn't have the effort to play defense.
Right.
So that has to change being in this new setting, especially when he's coming in and he's automatically what most people would say he's the best player on the team.
Yeah, he's gonna be the guy that they
And
look to.
so if you're gonna be the guy, you gotta be the guy that's gonna play defense too.
Set the tone for
Exactly.
those
Be a tone
young
setter.
guys.
So for me,
Hmm.
I don't know about title contender yet
Yeah.
because Garland just made his first MVP, first All Star. Jared Allen really is what he is. He's not gonna be a 3-point shooter. He's not gonna be someone you can throw it in the post and he's gonna get you. You can slow down the tempo or just work through him in the post. He's a
Right.
screener, a roller.
Good
Um,
interior defender, post
great,
defender.
great interior defender. I would say he's elite.
But
I think
no,
he's a very underrated
I love
interior defender.
I'm a huge fan. He just can't you can't throw him you can't play with him offensively at all. Like he's
Exactly,
not that. He wasn't like that
exactly.
out Texas. He just
And
yeah,
so I'm not really like,
yeah.
but when you got Evan Mobley,
Yeah. Mobley
who
can do
looks
both.
like he could be a star
Mhm, mhm,
at that
mhm.
fourth
Is
fourth
Levert
spot.
there?
While
Levert's there too,
also,
right?
you said who?
Is
Oh,
Karis
yep,
Levert?
you got
Okay,
Karis LeVert, who's a closer,
okay. That
who's
changes things.
proven that he could be a closer. So I think that they have pieces.
Mhm.
I just think they're a season or two away from being a contender. But I could be wrong. Like you said, tape don't lie.
All right.
We gonna see the tape, and by December we gonna know if they gonna be legit or not.
Yeah. Hey, them Bulls Cavs match is about to be lit now because it's gonna have
Right,
Levine and whoever versus DeRozan and Mitchell, and
right.
shots will fly.
Oh God, oh God.
You know what I'm saying? So I need to see that. It's just like you said, health because even Levert has had some injuries and some internal things too. You know, with his health, and we want him to stay healthy and as well as Allen. And then for you guys, Lonzo seems the recurring theme with Lonzo. Not to make this about the Bulls, but is the injuries, and it's like okay, can you guys have some depth or something to make sure you can have reassurance? Because as good as Caruso is defensively and he can hit the three like we saw in the playoffs, sometimes you want someone who can break it down. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I know Kobe can do that, if they give him some minutes, but
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to sacrifice too much. So we'll see. I think they're all in that kind of there's this tier where it's like the Bucks, Celtics, and then there's a tier after it, but there's not like a gap. People are kind of clumped together. And then you throw in, the Phillies. I think Philly should be better than they really are, but we
Right.
just don't trust the beard in playoffs.
Uh-huh. Nope. Not at all. Me and my brother was just having this conversation, and I was just like, bro,
You are
I'm
what you
sorry,
are.
bro. I don't care how good a shape he shows up in,
Fact, he
what
just
he
is what he is.
says, how
Carry
cool
on.
him and Embiid are. Like, I don't care about none of that. When it gets, all I care about is in April when the
Yep.
playoffs start.
Yep.
If he showed me something different, then I will feel differently about the Sixers. But
Right.
until then,
Right.
I don't care about none of that extra stuff. It doesn't matter to me. It's really irrelevant. You
Mhm.
have shown, like Maya Angelou said, when someone shows you who they are,
Yeah.
believe them.
Dude, they changed the rules and he stopped getting to the free throw line. I was like, bruh, he went from like averaging 30 to like 22 a game. I'm
Right,
like, man.
right.
Now he still get that triple double, but I mean,
Exactly.
it's just different. So
Quick question though, before we go to the next topic.
yeah, yeah.
In that Central Division,
Bulls, Pacers, Cavs.
who's the top? Who are the three? Who's gonna finish in that 1, 2, 3 spot?
Who's the fifth? There's five teams, right?
Yeah,
It's Bulls,
Pistons,
Pacers, Cavs.
Pistons,
Oh,
Pacers.
Pistons.
Yeah, Pistons, Pacers, Bulls, Cavs, Bucks.
Pacers will finish last. They got rid of Brogdon. They're finishing last, and they're injury prone. Pistons will finish. I think the Pistons will finish ahead of the Pacers because they have
Really?
no Sabonis now. No Sabonis, no Brogdon. Right, and they always get hurt. They have some guys, so I'm gonna go with based off the regular season.
Yeah, regular season records or yeah. Regular season standings. Who's finishing 1, 2, and 3?
You know what? That's that. No, that's actually a good question. I don't think it's as clear cut this year.
Right.
I think any of those teams could be number one. I know it doesn't answer your question because the because you know how the Bucks play. The Bucks always they kind of start out slow.
Right.
They play for the championship and they have older guys. So I
Right.
like the young guys. I could see the Cavs being one, but I could also see the Bulls. So I'm gonna say either the Bulls or the Cavs finish number one,
I'm gonna
and
go
then
Cavs, Bulls, Bucks
and then
as
Bucks.
my
I was
three.
thinking the same, bro. I was thinking the same because I think the Bucks are gonna kind of like coast
Yeah.
like they did. So yeah,
If the Bulls can stay healthy, then they can
stay
stay
healthy.
relevant enough to where when it comes down to it, because then teams always try to kick it up after
Mm-hmm.
the All Star break.
Mm-hmm.
But if you coast a little too long in that beginning part of the season, you can create a gap to where you're not going to be able to make that comeback so easily.
Y'all won what 47 games, 46.
Something like that, yeah.
Y'all can hit that again next year if
We
you're
could
healthy.
easily hit 50
Yeah,
as long as
hit
people
50.
are healthy.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. So I think you're right. That Bulls, Cavs, Bucks. The other teams don't matter yet. The Pistons
Right,
will be something later on.
right,
All right.
right. They, they got enough. They got like 3 seasons, 3 or 4 seasons for unless they
Yeah.
can do a trade or
They
free
got to
agent
go through some fire first,
randomly
man.
wants to be in Detroit.
Right. They got to go through some fire first.
Exactly. But like I said, we had some NFL football.
Oh
Week
snap!
one,
A lot of takeaways,
it
man.
was a lot of takeaways. Dak gets hurt.
Yeah.
My homegirl would be upset if I didn't mention Seahawks with the upset of the Broncos. Although I disagree with her on some of her takes because I'm like the reason
Oh yeah.
she's like F Russell Wilson he left us. I'm like yo Pete Carroll is the reason he's not there, and you don't care about you don't have nothing bad to say to
Bad to
Pete
say about
Carroll.
him.
She's
Oh
like, well he
man.
didn't leave, so I'm cool with it. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, it's either I was like you're toxic. I was like that's why you're toxic.
Yeah.
But Dak gets hurt. He's out. Was it 6 to 8 weeks? Possibly sooner.
mm-hmm.
Watt chooses not to get surgery,
Mm-hmm.
out 6 weeks with the torn pectoral muscle.
Yeah. That
Then
took
the
Humphrey out
Bills
last year.
destroy the Rams.
Yeah. Yep.
Joe Burrow is he throws to everybody but his team, but
Mm-hmm.
still has a chance to win it in the end.
Jamar still had like over 100 yards receiving. I don't
Right,
know how, but anyway.
right, right.
I
Hey,
was like,
hey,
what?
I went 2-0 in my first week on in my fantasy leagues too.
Ooh.
So and I destroyed my dad. So I'm really happy.
Oh, oh
Yeah, I
man,
beat my
you
dad by like 70.
balling over there, man.
But I had like 2 or 3 dudes. I had like 4 or 5 people over 18.
Bro. I lost by two because I dropped the Chargers defense because I was like a high scoring game. I disowned the pass rush like sacks because you get points for sacks. I put them on the waiver wire, picked up the Cincy Bengals defense, and lost 112 to 110 because the Bengals got destroyed in a
Yeah,
close game. Man,
yeah. I didn't see 3 interceptions. I seen the sacks coming. Five
right?
sacks, 3 interceptions. But we brought up a few things, man. So what are
Yeah.
some of your NFL takeaways?
New faces, new places. The wide receivers. We have elite premier receivers of Devontae Adams playing for the Vegas Raiders. I think he had what 10 catches, like 100 some yards. He
Right?
gave me 30 fantasy points.
Yeah,
He put a nasty move on that DB, a nasty route. I
yeah.
was like, Lord have mercy.
Like
He's
skirt.
still he's still established to me that he's the number one receiver in the league with Justin Jefferson being 1B. Not to take anything away from Justin
And
Jefferson,
that
but you
was
call that.
Asante Samuel Jr., who ain't no
Yeah,
slouch.
right. So welcome to the NFL. There you go. Um,
For real, for real.
welcome to Devontae. He tried to tell him. He said, "Look, I see how they playing me. I got a list of releases, man, for."
Right, right.
So Devontae, Tyreek Hill, getting he just got a lot of usage. I think he didn't have like any like crazy 80-yard bomb. Hopefully, he doesn't have it on the Ravens week two, but he just got a lot of usage. And then the other receiver, AJ, aka Nino Brown from what's the movie New Jack City, one of my favorite
Yeah,
movies. I call him Nino Brown because he looks like Wesley Snipes. AJ Brown balled out for the Eagles in a thriller in was it I think they played in Detroit. Did they play in Detroit? Something like that.
yes.
38-35. So I'm gonna go. That was one of my week way takeaways. New faces and new places. And I'm gonna swing it back to you.
I am.
Because there's a couple, but I just wanted to kind of put that one
I
out
think
there.
there is a lot of overreactions
The weak ones.
to week one, and that is
Mhm.
my NFL takeaway. I
Okay,
think
cool. Go
that's my week one takeaway. It's a lot of overreactions here. Like, relax. It's week one. Last year, for instance, Green Bay lost the same point total, the
Mhm.
exact same score week one of last year, and look how they finished the season.
True.
Derek Carr, if you actually watched the game and don't just look at stat lines, just watch the game.
Mhm.
When he had time to throw the ball,
Right.
they moved the ball down the field. With 3 minutes and 37 seconds, even though he threw three picks, he was able to have this team in a spot where he could have won the game in the
Mhm.
fourth quarter. 3 minutes, 37 seconds left. They got the ball back in the fourth quarter. Last year, they went 7-2 in these types of games where it was seven or less, or I think six or less. This year, we just happen to lose. Then
Yeah.
when people are like I look on NFL.com, if you look and see who are some of the people that could have been player of the week, Justin Herbert, someone that's on the other end. The only difference between the two is Justin Herbert didn't throw three picks.
Right. Right.
So you're three picks away from being player of the week or people
Of the
saying, oh,
month.
he's a bum.
Yeah.
And so then you switch it to where the defense was able to get 5 sacks and three interceptions. But then the offense still wasn't able to get you to the point where you made this a blowout.
Right. Right.
Then you got Joe Burrow throwing the amount of picks that he threw, but they still were able to be in the game. So there's some adjustments, there's tweaking that happens. You watch the film, there's new players. They have a brand new offensive line in Cincinnati. The Raiders, we went into this knowing that the offensive line was going to be the weak point of the offense. The defense was able to still keep them in those games and get off the field in certain moments. If we clean up turnovers and can get the ball out of Derek Carr's hands quicker, you can take down some of that. You don't give up so many sacks and so many pressures and so many hits on the quarterback.
I
So
agree.
this, for me, like Aaron Rodgers said a couple years ago, RELAX. Relax.
Relax. Okay.
Just
Okay.
relax.
Okay. I mess with it. I definitely mess with it. And I agree. I agree because, like I said, you guys lost by 5 now, and I told you in the Chargers fans' defense because I was seeing things on social media because people run rampant on social media, and people are like, "Oh, well, we didn't have Keenan Allen and blah blah blah," and I know, the homie Tars homie Devontae was talking about like they didn't have Keenan Allen. I said both of you guys just make great points. And I said all it confirms to me is that the Chiefs are winning the division anyway. So I was like, because Patrick Mahomes, I was gonna get to that he balled and the thing is Ralph, because we both we bet. I don't bet every day, like save my money, but I try to make calculated bets. You ever like you start to say, oh, this game is going to be one way, and then as it gets closer to the game and you learn new information, you start to think about it. You're like, wait a second, this game's not going to be what it is. So that game didn't surprise me. Actually, the
Right,
Cardinals and the Chiefs game, I was sitting up there. I was like, wait a second, because I was looking at the spread. I was like, the Chiefs are going to blow these. They're going to blow them out. No DeAndre Hopkins.
right.
Chandler Jones is gone. Christian Kirk is
Yep,
gone. Hollywood Brown is a body catcher, which I've said many times on this show can't beat press man coverage, etc. Right, and then Zach Ertz, with the injury, he played though. He played all right, and then the line and all that kind of stuff. I was like, the Chiefs are coming in there with a pass rush. They're coming in there with something to be like, hey, look, we haven't missed a beat. And I was like, yo, I think they're gonna blow them out. It's gonna be high scoring, but it's not gonna be because of the Cardinals. And the
right.
Cardinals never got really their field goal kicker going because I had them in fantasy too, and they blew them out. So shout out to Patrick Mahomes to me, and I'm
Hey,
gonna keep
Kyler
this
Murray
going.
did great
Yeah,
in
yeah,
fantasy football too.
he did. That's the thing, and they still got blown out. So it's
Right,
I was gonna say to me, and I'm a Lamar fan. I always see Lamar as the most valuable, but in terms of just as a quarterback, like passing the ball and all that kind of stuff, to me, Patrick Mahomes is still that guy. And I think when you talk about overreactions and stuff like that, because people want to elevate all these other quarterbacks on his level, it's just like on any league. whether you're the best player or the best at your position, if you're really that person, you're going to remain that person for a while. And I think that's who Patrick Mahomes is. And I think it's okay for people to, or people need to realize that, and it's okay for that to happen. I think Patrick Mahomes is kind of like the Steph Curry of the NFL in terms of that's who he is and who he's going to be. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so there's other people in tiers, but he's just that guy. He doesn't necessarily have to win the championship every year, which he hasn't won the last 2 years, to still be that guy. So that was kind of my takeaway. And then my last takeaway, I would probably say before we move into the next little topic or whatever, I was gonna say was Trey Lance, the Trey Lance situation. I actually don't think he looked that bad. People threw him through the fire and everything. I saw the film. I looked at the film. I was like, bro, poise, ran, made some good throws. The only thing that he had, I guess you could say, is an issue. I do agree with is they said, well, he didn't get enough reps in college, and me and you we talked about that before
Yes,
when he got drafted, and I was like, yeah, and he got hurt, and so, but if you put Jimmy G in there, how is he ever going to get reps? So
exactly.
you need to make a decision. It's not my fault that, oh, well, you want to win the Super Bowl, you have a good team. Do you hold him back another year? But you know Jimmy G has a ceiling. So just let the dude play. It's not his fault that you have a good team around him and they lost the game. I think that you let him play. If you guys go 9-8, or who cares at this point? Let the dude play. I saw potential in him. That's me. Maybe someone else saw different, but I saw potential. When I saw the film, I saw the passes he was making when he made them.
Correct.
So like if you worry about him not having enough experience, then let him play games because he can't go back to college.
Right.
So that's
You
it. That's
just
all
got to
I
take
that's
him
all I
up.
got.
Man.
Like I was like,
You
bro,
gotta
just
take
let him
him up.
play. Let him
Just let
play.
him play and deal with it. Because at the end of the day, it like you said, it is what it is. Like are you gonna keep bringing are you gonna keep bringing holding Jimmy G over his head and then hope that makes him better? Because history will tell you that doesn't work.
Right, because Jimmy will get you just as enough. Because even when he got to the Super Bowl, I remember I was there at work. We all saw it, and I was like, he airmailed the throw. They were up 10 points. Dude was wide open. I don't know if it was Emmanuel Sanders or whoever it was, and he airmailed the throw. And what was the thing? Everyone said if Brady was the quarterback of the Niners, he makes that throw.
Right.
I don't need to see anything else from Jimmy G. That was Bill Belichick's thing, and he's not that guy. He's a
Right.
nice little serviceable quarterback, but eh. Give me Derek Carr over Jimmy G. Derek Carr's a multi-time freaking starting quarterback, a Pro Bowler. He was in the MVP conversation before he injured his back, and then years after that, was it last year or the year before when people was hating on Carr and he was hooping? When I say
Oh
hooping, like
yeah.
balling out, like you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Oh, I know he never wins a Super Bowl, but he's actually really good at deep ball passing, something that Jimmy G seems to struggle with. But anyway. Jimmy G's a what is it? He's like a third down maestro kind of guy, which is cool. He chain mover,
Right.
but yeah.
He's a chain
So
mover, but he's
yeah,
just
we
not a
can
big quarterback.
right, but we can proceed. That's all I got, man. Like
Man,
let's
I'm sitting
proceed.
over here because I was trying to look it up because every time
Yeah.
I look it up, it just keeps giving me offensive numbers.
Oh, stats
And,
for someone.
yeah, I was trying to look for at defensive players because my brother kept talking about Minka Fitzpatrick.
Oh, Minka had I think he had a pick and he had a fumble, right?
Right.
Yeah, something. He was all over. There was a lot of good safety play
And
this year.
then Michael Parsons had 2 sacks.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And so it's like I'm
See,
trying
we
to
were
look
looking
up so I can make it. I don't want to just go all offense when it comes to
That's
we gonna
fair.
do this AFC player of the week.
All right.
And I I'm a Charger hater, so I don't. But I also have Justin Herbert as my fantasy football quarterback,
Okay, look at you. Good omen. Good omen, right? Good
and
vibe.
so I want to give him his props. But at the same time, when you watch the film,
Right, right.
I seen Josh Allen
Mhm.
destroy the Rams defense.
Mhm.
We watched Pat Mahomes just absolutely kill the Cardinals. Shoot,
Sidearm
even if you
happen.
look, if you want to just go based off of stats, Carson
Mhm.
Wentz went 27 for 41 attempts with over 300 yards and 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah.
So I'm just not willing to give
Herbert
Justin
this week.
Herbert that. over
Okay.
either of the quarterbacks that I've named.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I am going to give it to drumroll Josh Allen.
All
Um,
right.
Josh Allen balled out, man. I gotta look. I gotta pull up his numbers
Mm,
so I can give you exactly how he played. But which is crazy because I guess he ended up throwing 2 interceptions. But
yeah.
when you watch that game, he had a dominating performance outside of those
Mhm.
2 interceptions.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns, 297, had a quarterback rating of 112. He jumps over
Uh,
Bobby Wagner to
Right.
score a touchdown. He's stiff arming people. Like he just had a dominant performance. And his performance is one of the ones that I didn't get to watch too much because I don't really get out of work. Actually, my GM let me leave 30 minutes earlier. So shout out
Hey,
to Arturo. I owe him a 12 pack
there you go.
because he's a Chargers fan and I'm a Raider fan and my
Mm,
team lost. So he's gonna get
mm.
him a good old 12 pack. But
Don't be out of 12 packs by the end of the season, bro, with them bets.
yeah, I'm gonna get him again at the end of the year though. We're gonna bet again. 12 case of Modelo. Um, but Josh Allen, dominant performance. His performance stuck out the most to me over the week as far as just player of the week. If I had to give it to somebody,
Right. For the AFC. Mm.
or you can go. I can understand why somebody
Oh,
would go
overall.
Pat Mahomes because he didn't throw
My bad.
them interceptions like that.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, and here's how I think with interceptions, I mean, they're part of the game. We're human error. So like you don't necessarily have to play the perfect game for me. You know what I'm saying? It could be a running back, it could be a quarterback, it could be now with running back fumbling the ball, I guess I don't really like that. But it could be anything, receivers, etc. I think for me, I always look at like who you're playing against, how you played, or whatever. People have different styles. Um, but mine's going to be a quarterback. Allen, he played good. I will caution though because they don't like to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? They like to kind of praise him a lot. But some of them hits that he was taking, I always continue to say he's not elusive. He invites the contact, and he continues to do that. I know it was week one, but if he continues to do that, I know he saw that helmet to helmet hit.
Right.
Hey, the championship, man. Hey, be my guest. But that's all my thing. It's not hate. It's just an observation I saw. You're up by like 20 points and you're taking helmet to helmet hits and you're jumping over Bobby Wagner. So we'll see how that fares for you. But I have to go with Patrick Mahomes. And I'm not gonna be long winded for this on this one because I already mentioned it. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes because I feel like he reestablished something that he shouldn't have had to reestablish, that he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I don't even
because
know why that's even in question.
yeah, it shouldn't be a question. And obviously, I
His
know
down season
yeah,
is better than some people's career years.
exactly. And remember, guys, who was talking this? This is one we have a Raiders fan in the division, so that's a division rival, and then uh, um in an indirect rival being a Ravens fan, right? And shout out to Lamar Jackson, man, 3 touchdowns. Rashad Bateman balled out. Devin Duvernay, someone who Stephen A. was laughing at on national television, yet he scored 2 touchdowns. So anyway, so I could have went there with it, you know what I'm saying? And he did his thing versus the Jets. And people are like, pay that man. So he was sidearm slinging and everything. But I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes
Go
because I
look
just feel like
stats too. Shout out RG3. RG3 posted a clip. It's,
there you
it
go.
still needs
but
more love.
I'm gonna go with Mahomes though. I'm gonna go with Mahomes because I feel like his overall game, I feel like he played the best game, and he just obliterated the Cardinals on the road.
Mhm.
Um, just obliterated them, and that underneath shovel pass. I know when it's coming, yet defenses still never stop it. So I'm just gonna go with there until someone stops it. Even though we see it coming, but they don't. So okay.
Right.
And then always, bro. And I know Tar. Shout out to Tar. He always gets pissed off about it, man. Because I told him this last year, or we agreed last year. I was like, bro, like they run the same 3 plays at the red zone, and people still don't stop that joint, and it always goes to Kelsey on the shovel.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, y'all don't watch film? You don't do film study?
It's like watching the Warriors, bro. Like you just know,
and you can't stop it. That's
you
the
know
thing.
what's about to happen. It's like, bro, how y'all not seeing this?
Right. It's like when LeBron does that step back. You know when he's going to do that step back for the three.
Right,
He has no handle, but he's going for the three.
right, exactly. Like I just don't get it. It's you be sitting there watching the TV like
Bro,
y'all are
what?
getting paid millions of dollars for this.
Right. I
How
don't
you
care if
don't
you
see this?
intentionally foul him something. I don't
Right,
know. So
right.
that's my AFC. Were you doing NFC too real quick or?
Of course.
All right. Go with that, man. What you
With
got?
this one though, I'm a little. I don't know, man. I'm stuck between DeAndre Swift.
Ooh, he balled out for me,
Like he had almost 10 yards a carry,
bro. He
144 rushing yards off 15 attempts,
right, right.
and a couple catches out the backfield. But then, like I mentioned, you got Carson Wentz playing against the Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for the Commanders against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So for me, I'm gonna give it to Swift based on
Okay, 10 yards a
the,
carry.
the strength of the opponent you did this on.
Yeah, with Jordan Davis
Like
and
Fletcher
Fletcher
Cox,
Cox.
Jordan Davis, and them boys, like being able to get 10 yards to carry, did it in a losing effort where Carson Wentz actually won. But at the end of the day, you're only as good as your quarterback is.
Mmm, bars.
So
I like
I'm
that.
gonna give it to DeAndre Swift. I'm gonna look up some other people just so I can give more people some love.
All right. So
But I'm gonna let you take over at this point.
okay. So my NFC player of the week. First honorable mentions: Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson went ham. I believe he's the 1B receiver in the NFL behind well, excuse me. I've said it before, he's in contention with the 1B. It's between him and Cooper Cup because Cooper Cup still balled.
Right.
He showed everyone on the Bills game. And he could be my NFC player of the week. Allen Robinson did absolutely nothing in that game. Got me a fat like 2 points in fantasy. But Cooper Cup, they tried to stop him, they couldn't. I'm gonna go with Geno Smith. I'm like, there's nothing to talk about for me. Geno Smith. I watched because that was a game I actually watched. I had to watch the highlights. I watched the game. I'm like, bro, the dude looked like the best player out here. Not in the league, in the game. He was the best player in the game. This dude showed poise under the pocket, the circumstances that he was under in a home opener against a quarterback who you were a backup to, a franchise, a first ballot Hall of Famer, Russell Wilson going there trying to enact his revenge, a game that should have been a very emotional game, um, a, 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 a prime time game, all these things. You have the weight of the world kind of on your shoulders, and you have to orchestrate the offense. He was able to do that. He was rushing. He was scrambling like Randall Cunningham with the number 7. I mean, Geno Smith. I don't have the stats in front of you. Maybe you can pull them up. But he had to complete at least 70% of his passes. He didn't put the ball in harm's way. No interceptions.
He completed
Uh,
82% of his passes, had 2 touchdowns,
yes, yes,
200 yards.
yeah. So he
But he
balled
did have
and he
28 attempts, so it wasn't like he wasn't throwing the ball that much. He just,
yeah.
I think they relied on the run a little bit more.
Yeah, they did, and he had the mic drop of the year. I'm pulling it up. He said they wrote me off, and I ain't right back.
Right.
So I feel like he did. That was cold.
I did like that one. I did like that one.
Yeah, that was cold. So for me, I just think things that I'm gonna remember for the week about the week. I'm gonna remember Geno Smith. I'm gonna remember his quote. I'm gonna remember his performance. So shout out to Geno, man. And I'm pulling for the brother. I like to see our young brothers succeed when they put in the work and they get an opportunity to have a leash and go out there and do what they're supposed to do. So we'll see how it further confirms what we talked about last week, Ralph, about the NFC West. I know it's week 1. I think it's going to be a sneaky division. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I think that the it is one of those things where like the games you actually got to watch are the ones that are going to stick out to you the most.
Yeah.
So it does kind of like give you some ones where it's like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this on purpose to you. I don't want to just automatically go with the big name person because Justin Jefferson had over 180 yards, 2 touchdowns, and nine receptions.
bro. He
You
was on
got
magic.
Cooper Kupp, still had over 100 yards, still had a touchdown and 13 receptions.
Right.
Then Mike Thomas has 2 touchdowns in his comeback, but he only had like 60 yards or something along the lines.
Mm.
One thing
Mm.
that I seen something earlier, and I want to look this up,
Mm-hmm.
is Jameis Winston
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
and what he was able to do in that
I
game.
think.
And he balled out from what I saw. I didn't
Yeah,
actually
he
get to
balled
watch
out.
that game though. That's one of those games where
Me either.
I didn't get a chance to see it.
I didn't
But
see it either.
68% completion,
Mm-hmm.
270 yards,
Mm-hmm.
and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, which
Mm-hmm.
was always one of those things he was known for throwing the ball away.
Right.
So,
And that's a sleeper team we had. Them
but
at
he
two.
was playing the Falcons, so it is
Right.
what it is. You kind of go based off of the opponent, but it's a rival opponent.
A division game that will matter this year.
Exactly. And they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
play them another time. They play them 2 times every year. So I think with some of those things, you do gotta look at who the opponent is when you start to give people. You can't just throw blanket statements and say, "Oh, this person did this," but then it's like they literally played the worst team in the league,
All right.
and then you're throwing in this person who didn't have a crazy day like that, but but they played an opponent who is gonna make a deep playoff run
Yep.
that
Yep. I agree with that one.
everyone would
Yep.
pick and agree with. I was gonna ask you this. This is like because we got extra time.
Yeah.
Who'd you have winning your division? What did you still pick your
Oh yeah,
team?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I still
Do,
have us winning our division. We need to
after
win
this
it.
week, do you still feel the same?
Yeah, I still feel the same, and I know it's week one, but I saw a bold bet. They said bold bets for Bleacher Report Gridiron, and someone I saw people saying the Bengals missed the playoffs. This is bold prediction, bold prediction.
Yeah,
Like if you put money on it, the Bengals missed the playoffs. And I talked about expectation and being humble, and that was that Steelers team. They're really getting a chance to see a Steelers team with some gut. It's not the old Big Ben. So wait till they see the Ravens. So I'm not gonna
right.
go that far, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. So I still have us win the division. So yeah.
Is there
Um,
anybody that you picked that you like
mhm.
now want to flip? You want to put them in or take someone out?
I think there was a I flipped the Chiefs late. Remember that because I think I had the Broncos.
Right.
Still believe in the Bills and the Dolphins. I
Yep.
picked the Vikings. I picked the Vikings to win the division. So I
I
think
feel
I
even stronger about my pick as far as the
uh,
Lions.
the Lions.
After
Oh yeah,
watching
yeah,
them
yeah,
put up
yeah.
35 against the Eagles,
Mm,
I got
yeah.
them. It's either gonna be them or the Vikings. I'm not gonna sit
Okay.
out and, like I said earlier, relax. When it
Mm,
comes to Aaron Rodgers, I'm not gonna sit here and act like they're not. They're just gonna be this terrible team.
right. But
But like
reservations, they're receivers,
patience,
man.
patience for the young receivers and
Yeah.
relax. Just relax. It's week one.
Yeah.
They have like I think 3 of their receivers are rookies.
Yes. And then they just have Cobb. I think
3 of
Cobb
the
is still.
5 are rookies with Lazard and Cobb still being there.
Yeah.
And so just relax. It's a long season.
Right.
We got a lot to unpack.
Speaking of a long season, before we close out, man, I need my face cam real quick. Look, man, Jalen Ramsey, man. Look, man. So like, we gotta talk, bro. Look, man, you getting paid now? Playing? No, no. Look, no. I will say this: people have been, and for much is given, much is required. So I'm not here to, you know, suck up and pat on the back and and be like, oh yeah, no, 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 no. But I want to say something to people who getting on him too hard now. I know for much is given, much required, but he's still an all pro. He's still elite. He still has a resume. He will bounce back. I will say though, people were talking about how he got smoked, and I hate when he plays zone. He can't play zone and all that kind of stuff. But if we can't play zone, then he's probably not. You know, he's just a better man corner. That's what it is.
Right,
However,
right,
let's not act like he ain't nice still. Like Stephon Diggs has a historical record of torching that man. So Stephon Diggs is an elite wide receiver. But Jalen Ramsey has shut down other receivers, almost every other receiver in the NFL. So let's continue to, it's Super Bowl hangover. We'll see. I think he'll still bounce back. But Jalen Ramsey just be better next week. That's all it is. But a million different memes, and people were hitting me up. I'm like, why are you hitting me up? I ain't a Rams fan. But you know how people be on social media. I mean, he got smoked, but I'm like, come on, man, it's Jalen Ramsey. Let's calm down, relax. But go ahead, Ralph. You seem like you want to say something.
Perfect example of Kai being long-winded. We didn't
I'm
win over
sorry.
our time. We have went over our time. So thank you all for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in.
I had to get that one out.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I agree with you.
Thank you.
But thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in to all of our social medias, the show social media as well. Subscribe on YouTube. Share us everywhere if you love the show that much. But thank you all for watching. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.